Welcome back, guys. Blog 2 here. We're calling this one America's Response. Checking up on America. I was on Twitter earlier today and I found some great facts to keep everybody educated on previous plagues. So we'll start one of the big ones, 541 to 542 AC after Christ, the plague of Justin. And 30 to about million people killed, 30 to 50 million people killed. The number is kind of a gray area because a lot of people still speculate on it, but it was believed to take down the Roman Empire. It's the plague that swept that great leadership down there. And then obviously we know about the bubonic plague, the Black Death, from 1347 all the way to 1351. 200 million people gone. See ya. Wiped out 30 to 50% of the European population, and it nearly took them like 200 years to recover from that. That's a rough one. That's the biggest one that's ever hit the earth. Then you move on to the 1520s, smallpox comes, 56 million people killed, and that one took out like 90% of the Native Americans. We also have the Spanish flu, 40 to 50 million people killed. This is 1918 to 1919. And then we all know in the 1980s, the HIV AIDS hit us, 25 to 35 million people dead. And there's been a lot of different viruses in between that have taken it out, like from anywhere from millions and thousands. But right now, we are currently on COVID-19. From what President Trump said in his press conference today at 6:45 p.m. It's 7:30 now. So 65,000 dead, give or take. 1.2 million cases in the United States. Absolutely crazy. It's rising right now. It's looking like it might reach numbers like the swine flu did. But best thing we could do is just social distance and make sure we give our hospitals time to take in and not be overwhelmed by all of us that are sick right now. And then we're going to go into the next segment, which is the interviews. And I interviewed my dad, my stepmom. So my dad is a government worker, and I'll read you this little quote he sent me. I work for the Department of State, and my office building is open and will stay open through the entire pandemic. My actual office is a SCIF, which stands for Secret Compartment Information Facility, and we have computers that operate in a top secret level. We have to maintain this information, so my coworkers and I have gone on a rotational operation schedule where we work two of us one day, and then 2 days in the office, 3 days out of the office. So you're at home, and then you're in the office, and you're at home, and then you're in the office. To go back to where he said, so far 3 individuals in his actual building, not in his office, but in his building, have tested positive for COVID-19. Their offices were shut down, and it took them 2 days to clean and sanitize, and then they were reopened after those 2 days. The building is trying to sanitize as best as we can. They're very scary times for us, but we must push through it and be as safe and cautious as we can. May God bless us through this pandemic. That's what my dad said. So that's more of like a standpoint. He drives to DC obviously every other day now, and he's at home, so he can still do his work. But in cases where you need that technology for the greater being of like the world and whatever you do in the government, you got to do what you got to do, and you got to be safe, and you gotta have faith. So that's as a middle class man how he's being affected right now by the virus. And my stepmom, she sent me a quote. She works as an insurance agent, and they're about to start their 4th week of working at home. She goes, "It is very difficult, and I am getting adjusted. All of our clients have been very understanding of our decision to close our office. This past week, my daughter started from school, so my sisters. They are working on getting a grasp on the everyday schooling process, also trying to keep an energetic 3-year-old as entertained because his daycare is closed. Getting groceries has been challenging. Overall, we were trying to stay home and make the best of it." So that's like a mom's standpoint. She takes care of my siblings, and we love her to death for it. But I'm actually back here in Fruitland. They're at home. It was a little too hectic for me, so I had to come up here and get all my schoolwork going good. Uh, but yeah, as for a middle class family, my dad's a government worker, so he's still got to go and do what he's got to do. My stepmom's got to deal with the kids and her job. So everything's from home, which is nice. It gives a lot of people time. It seems like America's being very reluctant on this deadline of things and whatnot. as Maryland goes, and Larry Hogan just said that we should all stay in and don't leave unless you need groceries. So social distance is really getting pounded down right now. Very scary times, but you got to do what you got to do in times of the pandemic, and everybody stay safe. Hopefully, we got more information coming, more good stories, uh, more good spirits to lift everybody up in this time of need. Everybody stay safe, stay clean, and Blog 3 will be back next week, next Sunday, baby.